Her nightmare began at 14 years old when her parents brought their drug dealer into their house to marry her in lieu of payment. For years, she was used as payment for drugs by her parents and by her husband. He kept her pregnant year after year, not only to ensure that she would stay with him, but also to use her as a drug mule. As she explained, no one would expect a pregnant 16-year-old girl to be transporting drugs day by day. That is only one of a few of the numerous examples by Mohr that Mohr wrote about in 2017. What many know and yet fail to comprehend is that every day thousands of people are taken or sold by traffickers. It is not just made for some TV movie. It is real, and if the victim is able to escape, moving on into a normal life is never going to happen due to the physical, psychological, and emotional damage that has been done. The only way to help is to understand what is going on with both the perpetrators and the victims, and to learn the warning signs and what can and is being done. First, we need to know who are the players involved in the situation. Let's look at the perpetrators first. A Harvard Journal of Law describes potential perps as foreign nationals, U.S. citizens, family members, partners, acquaintances, or strangers. They can act alone or as a part of an organized criminal enterprise. Most traffickers are men, but the United States has prosecuted cases against women traffickers. Traffickers can be pimps, gang members, diplomats, business owners, labor brokers, or farm, factory, or company owners. So, in short, anyone you see out on the street could be involved in trafficking. The victims of human trafficking, according to numerous sources, will often note that victims often experience severe and lasting mental health issues such as post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression. Some of the symptoms even include sleeplessness, nightmares, panic attacks, difficulty concentrating, physical pain, a feeling of hopelessness, suicidal thoughts, hyperalertness, and dissociation. One of the most common questions about why do people stay? A New York Times article pointed out that when you strip away whatever rationalization there is for enslavement, whether it's 2000 BC or yesterday, slavery and trafficking are pretty much the same thing. What has changed is the approach that promises a way out of poverty. The number of people desperate to improve their lives is increasing. That boosts the supply of potential victims and makes them cheaper on the slavery black market, as the law of supply and demand would dictate, end quote. Another avenue traffickers will often use as a control technique is to get their victims hooked on drugs, or the victims may start using drugs to escape the trauma of their daily lives. When they arrive in the state correctional system, some may require drug and alcohol treatment to stabilize and restore their lives. Knowing that anyone could be involved in this crime is scary enough. However, it is important if you think someone is in a situation beyond their control to know a few warning signs. The Attorney General of Nevada website lists the following as signs to be on the lookout for. A. Showing signs of physical injuries and abuse. B. Avoiding eye contact, social interaction, and authority figures or law enforcement. C. Seeming to adhere to scripted or rehearsed responses in a social interaction. D. Lacking official identification documents. Or E. Appearing destitute or lacking personal possessions. Knowing who they are and what is only half the battle. While education is key, now what? No one expects you to put yourself in harm's way to help free someone. So, what are you supposed to do? Hundreds of articles what you click on will tell you about supporting laws and the approach different states and nations are taking. Nebraska has their own human trafficking task force and are working to create laws, and voting for people who support these changes is paramount. While that is all good and great, what are you supposed to do in the moment you know something isn't right? Laws can take years to change, and the system can let people slip through their fingers. Bell simplified this answer in her book, In Our Own Backyard. If you see any of the red flags, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text HELP to BE FREE 233-733 immediately to report the situation. Let the trained professionals do the follow-up. We need to do more. Knowing who can be involved on either side of this crime, why people stay, and the control variables used against them, and knowing the warning signs, and support the efforts by the federal and state governments. We will not be able to end trafficking completely, but through education, calling or texting the hotline, and voting for representatives who will work for change, we can make a difference. Even if it is just one person, getting them out of that devastating situation, that is one less person who is trapped in a horrible situation.